Over the past few months, what began as an online satirical campaign has evolved into a nationwide youth movement, which makes it very interesting if seen through an astrological lens. Millions of students have rallied around issues such as examination integrity, unemployment, institutional accountability. I want to examine the movement through the lens of mundane astrology, Vedic astrology. CJP was founded on 16th May, and that makes it very fascinating because it is uh, very strong on Rahu energy. Rahu has been the energizing theme of digital communication, unconventional activism, and viral public movement. Saturn, meanwhile, represents the working class, the students, the ordinary citizen seeking accountability. As Saturn moves through Revati Nakshatra, ruled by Mercury, the focus naturally shifts to youth, education, communication, digital platforms, and this combination is ideal for creating internet driven activism, decentralized leadership, satire and memes, rapid public mobilization. Rather than relying on a single charismatic leader, this type of movement spreads organically through social media, grassroots participation. The important thing to note is that Rahu often produces rapid expansion but fluid organizational structures. That means explosive popularity does not automatically translate into a long term political organization. Now, the question that everybody in India is asking, क्या ये violent हो जाएगा? From the mundane astrology perspective, the dominant planets behind this movement are Mercury and Saturn. Mercury governs communication, humor, satire, ideas, memes. Saturn represents peaceful collective action, labor, students, sustained public pressure. These signatures suggest that the movement's natural expression is organized protest rather than organized violence. However, astrology can also suggest periods where tensions can arise. Later in this year, if Mars strongly activates Rahu or Saturn, localized clashes can become large demonstrations where violence becomes more possible. It does not mean that widespread violence is inevitable. However, instead, astrology highlights periods where emotions can run high and confrontations become more likely if poorly managed. Now, let me check Prime Minister Modi ji's chart. The current transits place increased pressures on areas connected with governance, public accountability, education, youth concerns. Rather than indicating immediate threat to political stability, these transits suggest growing pressure to address issues surrounding student welfare, employment, administrative transparency, institutional reforms. Astrologically, movements like these challenge public perception more than governmental continuity. The pressure is likely to manifest through policy adjustment, increased public scrutiny. I do not see structural collapse anywhere. Let me just check out what history tells us. I am checking out other movements, student movements, like the JP movement of 1970s. I had just joined college at that time. The Mandal Commission, the India Against Corruption movement. Each occurred during Saturn's configuration that activated youth public dissatisfaction demands for institutional change. Today's transit differs in one key factor, important factor. Modern activism is operating through digital networks. Rahu's influence means ideas are spreading through memes, hashtags, videos, online communities rather than traditional political structures. This creates faster mobilization but also can produce movements that evolve rapidly. They're so fluid, they change direction just as quickly as they form. Some viewers have asked whether greater risk lies not with the movement but the response from the authorities. Astrology allows us to distinguish between two different possibilities: the movement becoming violent on its own, or confrontations arising when rapidly growing movement collides with state authority. If Mars becomes strongly activated during periods of large public demonstration, the likelihood of arrests, confrontations, or isolated incidents may increase. However, astrology can't say for sure that violence will occur. The outcome depends on decisions made by the protesters, the institutions, the law enforcement, the political leadership. Astrology describes a climate, not the choices people make within it. Intuitively, I feel that if the authority reacts strongly, rigidly, this movement could become violent. But if the authorities deal with the protesters not as an opposition but as a democratic protest, then maybe violence can be avoided. What I can definitely see is that the CJP represents something larger than a political movement. It reflects a generational demand for accountability, transparency, institutional reform. And charts suggest that this energy is likely to continue to influence public discourse throughout 2026 and 2027 and into 2028. Whether this influence leads to meaningful reforms or deeper confrontation depends not only on the planets but also on the wisdom, restraint, and choices of everyone involved. If you enjoy objective educational analysis of current events through the lens of Vedic astrology, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Psychiana, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.